Welcome back. Well, obviously skincare has become a multi-billion-dollar global industry, and these days girls as young as 8 are filling those shopping carts with intense multi-step regimes, including anti-aging products. They're 8, designed for adults.
Experts are now warning parents about a growing phenomenon which has been called Cosmeticorexia, an unhealthy obsession with obtaining flawless skin. Joining us now from Boston is Australian dermatologist, our friend, Dr. Deshan. Deshan, great to see you. Can you explain for us, first of all, what exactly is cosmeticorexia?
Yeah, so it's sort of a pop culture term for what doctors would describe as body dysmorphia. So that is a unhealthy preoccupation with your appearance, and in this case, it's your skin, and a compulsion to pursue really elaborate skincare regimes in the pursuit of sort of perfect skin. So I think there's two sort of components to it. One is unrealistic expectations, because no one's ever going to have perfect skin, but then also having these really elaborate skincare regimes. So it sort of exists on a spectrum, like I remember growing up during school holidays, my sister would put a bit of my mum's nail polish on, and that's just a bit of fun. But we're talking about the other extreme, where it's called sort of causing psychological harm, because young kids, like say primary school age kids, are pursuing really elaborate skincare regimes.
So obviously we were just looking at some kids there on social media. That plays a big part in this, doesn't it? So even though we've got a social media ban for kids under 16, the kids are still being influenced, right?
100%. So I think social media has a lot to answer for in terms of creating this illusion of perfect skin. When you're looking at photographs, it's not necessarily real life. You've got perfect makeup, perfect lighting, filters, and now AI is adding an extra layer of complexity. And then I guess the other thing is when you see influencers, using these multi-step routines, then there's a lot of pressure on kids to keep up with that. You don't want to be left behind. You don't have that feeling of FOMO, which I guess is true for adults and kids as well.
Wow.
But I think the other thing now with social media is we're getting behind the scenes sort of parasocial relationships with influencers and celebrities. Sort of growing up, I never knew what cleanser, the Spice Girls or Britney Spears was using. But now with things like Get Ready With Me and sponsored posts, we have that behind the scenes access to what's in these influencers' bathrooms.
It's so true. You refer to the psychological harms, but how can things like adult serums and anti-aging products also affect young skin?
So by and large, they're not going to do that much damage to the skin for most kids. If you wear really heavy moisturizers, then that can block your pores and that can actually lead to pimples. If you're using things with lots of active ingredients, then that can lead to irritation, things like dermatitis. But by and large, you're not going to run into troubles with your skin. As you alluded to, it's the psychological harm that we're more worried about.
So should kids be using anything on their skin at all? Up until they're teens, they still need to wash their face and stuff.
Exactly. So, from the age of 6 months and up, we're living in Australia. 2 out of 3 Australians will get some form of skin cancer. So sunscreen's really important anytime the UV index is more than 3. And then at the end of the day, just a simple soap-free cleanser, nothing fancy, just the simple stuff you can get from Coles and Woolies like QV. That's really all you need.
When is it actually safe to start a more complex skincare routine?
So no one needs a really complex skincare routine. The things I mentioned for kids, you can do as an adult as well. Sunscreen is really important because that will keep away a lot of the signs or visible signs of aging. If you wanted to add a few things, I think in your mid-20s is sort of a good time. So you could add a vitamin C in the morning and a vitamin A at night. But don't feel like you need to navigate this alone, and don't go to social media. Talk to your doctor or a dermatologist. So that's a medical expert in anything related to the skin. They'll have the letters FACD behind their name, and no one understands your skin like a dermatologist.
What if you've got a teenager, though, or a preteen, and they're starting to get breakouts and things like that in the skin, and soap and water is just not going to cut it for them? It's not going to cut it psychologically as well. It's an emotional thing, having bad acne and bad skin. So is there anything you can treat in that period of time that they can get?
Yeah, 100%. So, we all want to present the best version of ourselves possible. And I think in the teenagers, that's particularly true as you're sort of forming your own identity. There are lots of over-the-counter things that you can use for acne. So soap and water won't actually help that much. There's products with ingredients like benzoyl peroxide, for instance. And then there's a few other things like azelaic acid and some of the alpha hydroxy or beta hydroxy acids. So that's things like salicylic acid. All those things are available over the counter. And if you wanted to try that before seeing a doctor or a dermatologist, I think very.
What about those little stickers that kids are putting on their face now? Do they work?
Yeah, they can help a little bit. So those hydrocolloid dressings do help to draw the water out of the pimple, so they can sort of help deflate them a little bit, and they're becoming more socially acceptable. So now it's no longer the camouflage one. It's like the conspicuous pastel colors and the, bright colors.
Dr. Deshan, always good to get your insights on these things. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
See you soon. When we return, we'll have your latest 9 News headlines.